This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports and Chaco. We're delighted to join once again by the main man, Jimmy Morrissey. How are you, Jimmy?
What's happening, Steve? I'm good, man. I really can't complain the slightest, man. It's a nice sunny day down here, and everything's good, man. I'm fit, healthy, and looking forward to doing what I love next week.
Fantastic. It's just saying to you off camera before we started. It's nearly it's about 5 months since we last spoke. I guess obviously it's the joys of being a professional boxer. Sometimes that not everything goes to plan. You know, I know you were training. It looked like the Robbie Burke rematch was being made for Belfast in February, and then obviously the card didn't come through. Have you just been keeping yourself sort of active since? What have you been doing with yourself?
And what have I been doing? I've been non-stop training, I suppose, Steve. Really looking to improve my craft. I've been busy as a personal trainer down here, thank God. And yeah, I don't really stop. I need to keep busy for my own sake, man. Obviously, I'd like to think I'm somewhat driven, but I don't really stop regardless. I don't like to sit down too much, man. So I'm always kept going. But seeing as that Robert Burke fight was initially made for February, so that was a camp in itself. So I was in a camp up till that. Then it was cancelled only, like 2 weeks out, maybe a week and a half out or something like that. So, and then a camp led into another one, which was March, and then April. So it's been non-stop training. You know what I mean? I'm just, I'm craving a fight now at this point, you know?
Do you sort of look at it probably more? I know sometimes people can look at it as a negative sort of thing, but have you found that obviously that extra camps probably helped? Because, you know, you were a Muay Thai obviously until just over a year ago, and you're obviously still relatively a novice in professional boxing. So is that extra camp sort of added more to your game?
For sure. What it does is it gives me, I suppose time is good, like, you know what I mean? But also I do feel I'm coming into my prime, and that I want to be a little bit more active for sure, Steve, but I take the good with the bad. You know, there's an awful lot worse going on in the world than cancelled fights. So I know very soon that I will be fighting. That's in a week and a half. And look, we're used to that bit of uncertainty with COVID and with the way the last 2 years went and stuff. So as I said, you take it in your stride and you push on. And I'm just keeping it positive, man. And looking forward to building and keeping it moving now.
Particularly with your Muay Thai background, you've probably been, you know, where you're a novice in professional boxing. Obviously, you're not a novice when it comes to the fight game and things like that. Did you have many setbacks sort of in Muay Thai and the fact that, you know, fights cancelled or opponents changed? If you got that sort of experience, it's sort of leaving you in good terms?
Did I have similar experiences in Thai boxing?
Yeah.
Not really, man. But what I can say about Thai boxing, that like I learned a lot of the necessary lessons prior to coming into boxing. It was a dream of mine to be a pro boxer. So I thank God every day for my life in that sense, man. And I learned some very, very necessary lessons before going into Thai boxing or before coming into pro boxing.
And obviously you're 10 days out from your third pro fight. You just passed a year being a professional boxer. What would you sort of, when you look back at the last year, you've obviously 2 fights. You know, obviously your debut in Luxembourg, and then obviously Robbie Burke fight in October. How would you assess your first year as being a pro?
I assess it as quite successful. I'm happy with it, man. You know, like I don't think I haven't seen a whole lot of people take on an undefeated guy in their first couple of fights. I'm happy enough to do that. I stated that I would do that, and I was happy I got to show that I wasn't lying in any sense, and that I meant it when I said it. So with my debut, I wasn't really happy with my performance in my debut, but look, you got the job done. Went over to Luxembourg, got the job done, and then the second fight I was very pleased with. Went on to an Irish Fight of the Year. So you know what I mean? You got to be happy with that, like, you know. So I feel that over the last few months or so, I'm probably boxing the best I've boxed as of yet. I'm really finding myself as a fighter. So it's up to me to go out and show it now and prove that I belong up there with the very, very best domestically. And I want to push on further than that also.
And your fight in Cork next week, obviously it's the first Cork show in quite a while. Obviously it's aimed around Tommy Hyde's professional debut. I think from what it is scheduled, you in BoxRec, it's going to be a 4-round super middleweight contest. Is it just I guess it's that sort of come down from having an Irish Fight of the Year with Robbie Burke to then probably fighting somebody that's been brought in as a journeyman sort of type fighter. I know you don't obviously discredit at the end of the day the two hands and everything else, but is it sort of keeping yourself focused and going, you can't afford to sort of relax at any stage?
No, you can't relax in the slightest, Steve. Like I've seen countless fighters go out there relaxed and get whooped by journeyman. A journeyman is someone who's very dangerous. A man will not lose a very dangerous man. So these guys already have their payment secured. They're coming in. Why not have an old tear up? That's the way I'd be looking at it if I was one of them. So not one of them. But if I was coming in with a similar perspective, so I won't be taking them lightly in the slightest, Steve. I'll be coming in to get the job done, staying behind the jab, nice and conservative for the first 2 rounds, and then hopefully pick them off. Then, you know what I mean. But I won't be taking any man lightly, not for a second.
Definitely, it's time to get the work done as well. Obviously, another stablemate of yours in boxing Ireland, Kevin Cronin's obviously coming down to super middleweight. He's 4-0 with 2 stoppages so far. Will you sort of have one eye potentially on Kevin as a future opponent after next week?
Yeah, well, of course, I think that goes without saying. You know what I mean? We're both in the same division. We're both 2 undefeated guys, and I'm sure we will cross paths at some point. You know what I mean? After the Buck fight, we were hoping to potentially make that fight happen. After the Buck fight fell through, but I'm sure it will happen down the line. I respect Kevin. I respect him as a fighter also. You know what I mean? I do think he's a good fighter, and I think it's a really, really good fight. You know, he's one of the main boxing guys down in Kerry. You know what? I'm going to step outside the gym there, Steve. I'm going to sit out just for the simple fact of bags being getting hit and stuff. So in 2 seconds,
You're scared that somebody's hitting the bag and they might offer you out for a fight?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Say again, brother.
I say if somebody's hitting the bag, they might want to fight in a few minutes. So keep yourself away from it. You have a fight in 10 days.
No, but as I was saying there, man, I do respect Kevin. I think it's I respect him as a fighter. I respect him as a boxer. I do, and I think it's inevitable that we'll fight on the line. I'm 100% open to it, and I don't want any more journeyman type fights after this, Steve. You know what I mean? I didn't get in this to cost myself money, and not by any stretch. You know what I mean? The Buck fight opened my eyes up to the potential we have to make good domestic fights and make good money out of it. So they're the fights I want. You know what I mean? After I achieve what I want, which my dream is, Steve. My dream is to be Irish champion in boxing like I was in Thai boxing. Now that's the very short-term close dream. After that, I'll fight absolutely anyone, man. And I mean that. And that's no disrespect to anyone. It's belief in my own ability and belief in I want to get paid, Steve. You know what I mean? And I'm not in here to blow 5 more to fight 5 more journeymen. I want to get my hands on an Irish title, and then I'll take an away corner fight against anyone. Look at what Willie Casey did. And I think it's one of the most admirable boxing journeys of all time. He went to the away corner and whooped me and became a European champion. So that's something I'm looking at. I want to get paid and I'll take a fight against anyone. So that's the way I'm looking at things. I want to get my hand on an Irish title, whoever I have to beat to do that. I'm prepared to fight anyone. There's some great domestic fights out there. I won't avoid any of them.
And have you sparred any rounds with Kevin? Obviously, I know where you're coming into pro boxing. Something makes me think you sparred previously.
I have sparred him.
But I guess it's one of them, you know, the spar is completely different because sometimes obviously you can be brought in to spar you for a certain opponent or things like that. Is there anything you can sort of take away from the spars that give you confidence potentially in India?
Sparring is sparring. It's absolutely nothing like a fight, and it's not something I'd even talk about online. Kevin's probably aware of my interest to fight him. We're not, as I said, we're not hiding for any fighters domestically. No disrespect to anyone, but we're here to fight. So I'm sure we will cross paths down the line, and I think Kevin's aware of that. I think Sean we made contact. We made our feelings clear. We were ready to fight anyone here in Cork. So no disrespect to any fighters domestically, but we're here to fight anyone. So anyone that we have to fight for that Irish title, that's what we want.
It's definitely always been your motto, and obviously having the big fight, so it's not like anything's changing. But obviously you've taken us on a wee bit of a tour around there as well. The weather's delightful. How is it going to make the last 10 days preparing for fight? Is it going to make it easier with a bit of warm weather?
It's beautiful here, Stephen. Apologies, man, about all the moving around, man. Sorry, I didn't anticipate people coming into the gym. I thought it was going to be quieter. So sorry about that. But it's beautiful here, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just try to. I find it hard to be present sometimes. Sometimes I need to stop, smell the rose, and just say, look, I'm preparing now from my third professional fight. The sun is out, and just take it all in, man. So I really can't complain. Life is good.
Definitely is. I'm sure obviously the whiskey will taste a wee bit nicer after Saturday night, knowing you've your third pro win out of the way.
He's God, no, brother. I'm just really trying to stay focused now and going and get the job done, bro. Going and get the job done.
I guess is it sort of conversations you sort of have to have with Boxing Ireland and obviously after the show in Cork next week on where the next potential fight card's going to be. I'm sure you'd like to keep as busy as possible.
100%, Steve. You know what? I think the super middleweight division has emerged as one of the most kind of interesting, eye-catching divisions now domestically. You've got some good names there, so we'll put our name forward for absolutely anything that presents itself. And to be honest, as I previously said, I'm not looking to stay down the kind of a few more journeyman type path. I don't disrespect any of them. I'll be taking this opponent very, very seriously, but it's domestic fights we want, you know.
And obviously, I know that obviously you're 10 days out from your fight, and obviously it's focused on everything else. We'd obviously put up asking for questions, and I guess if people don't ask questions, they don't get answers. So Boxing Serena obviously asked, where do you find yourself in 5 years' time in the sport?
In the sport in 5 years, I want to be an Irish champion here domestically. As I said, it's never been done. So I want to be a Muay Thai champion, Irish champion, and then push on. My coach said to me at one point, we're not placing a limit on ourselves for this. So I don't place any limit on myself. But I have a mission that I keep quite close to myself, Steve, and it's not solely through with boxing. So boxing has always been part of the journey and part of the mission to get to where I want to get to. But I see myself, it's hard to even see where the world will be in 5 years, but I see myself making that mission happen for myself.
And obviously fighting close to home as well. I think it's probably an hour down the road to Cork.
100%, Steve. It's only down the road, bro. So there's plenty of boxes I want to take in terms of boxing. I want to fight in Limerick. They're talking about some shows here in Limerick and UL. There's plenty of boxes I want to take, but fighting so close to home here in Cork now is going to be a good one. I actually fought a lot in Thai boxing below in Cork, Steve. I love that county, to be quite honest. I'm going to stay down there after for a night or two, really relax, and yeah, it's great, man. It really is.
And have you any tickets left for the show next week? Is there any left if someone's looking at last minute sort of?
Yeah, I have a few left, man. You know, I've never had trouble selling tickets in my life, but I only actually got the tickets a few days ago, man. They were sent up to Dublin and then had to be sent down to me. So I've quite a few left, but by the way my inbox is looking, they'll all be gone. But it's just a matter of people actually coming and physically taking the tickets and giving me the money. So sooner that happens, the better.
Definitely is. Well, Jamie, look, obviously we'll thank you once again for catching up with us and having a chat. We'll let you obviously enjoy some of the sunshine, obviously whilst you're trying to make weight for next week. And I'm sure we'll obviously catch up with you after the fight and obviously see what the future holds for you then.
Thank you very much, Steve. I apologise about having to come outside, man. I wonder, was the sound okay?
Sound was perfect. It was it's definitely it's a nice change from someone sitting indoors and everything else.
Okay.
And obviously the being able to see the view around Limerick there today probably makes us want to be in Limerick, you know, so you're probably making us jealous more than anything.
See this area here? This is Perry Square. This is where the gym is at. A real special area. I'll tell you, a lot of character here. So if you're ever down in Limerick, pop down to us, man. This is the spot. This is my home. It's what I represent and I just love it.
Definitely. Well, Jamie, listen, thanks very much for your time and all the very best of luck for Cork next Saturday.
God bless, brother. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Cheers, Jamie. Take care. Thanks.
Bye, Steve.
Bye.
Good luck.
Bye. Bye.